An international rights group, Human Rights Watch, has joined its voice to Michelle Bachelet, Commissioner of Rights Issues at the United Nations and the African Union, to frown at the degrading and dehumanizing treatment accorded some migrants who attempted crossing over from Morocco to Spain. In this edition of the news, we shall be talking that, and just in a situation where at least 23 people were killed. And also in this edition of the news, it is common parlance that birds have learned to fly without perching and hunters have learned to shoot without missing. It is a watchword adopted by security officials of the Littoral Regional Chieftain of the city of Douala. They said that men of the underworld, bandits, and all activities of the underworld will have no space in the city of Douala, while individuals of the underworld were intercepted and presented to the public. Some who are on the run have already been nabbed and placed behind bars. In this edition of the news, we shall also be talking culture and sport. Yes, the African Women's Nations Cup, which is gearing up in Morocco, in Northern Africa. All these in this edition of the news. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the Southwest Regional Governor, Bernard Okalia-Bilai, indicated that the General Certificate of Education, GC, Ordinary and Advanced Levels, kick-started and unfolded on day one, hitch-free across the Southwest region. He was also referring to the Kupem Maninguba, one of the 6 divisions that make up the conflict-hit Southwest region of Cameroon. He said across the 87 centers, it all been a success. In this edition of the news, we're focusing on GC, day one in Kupem Maninguba. Malak Glory is the lady of that story.
Maximum concentration with eagerness to succeed after many years of unrest, though troubled in their hearts. Their mates from neighboring villages won't be lucky to partake in the exams due to the ongoing crisis and the continuous attack in some areas of the Southwest region. As the students kickstart the written part of the GC official examination this Tuesday, they call on government officials to restore peace.
Now is moderate as compared to last year. Places were not that stable as compared to this year.
It's moderate, more than the one of last year. Yes, we are happy to write in Tombe.
I would be so happy if the government can help us solve our crisis so that some of our friends that are not going to school in the other places, they will start going back to school.
In Government Balingo High School, Tombel, one of the centers in the Kupe Maninguba division of the Southwest region, 947 candidates were expected but recorded 10 absences. According to the divisional officer, the absences did not affect the other students as everything started hitch-free.
And the number of students at the level of the ordinary and advanced levels have improved compared to last year. Last year, the total number of students that we had for the ordinary and advanced level were more than, say, 700, but this year we had close to about almost 1,000.
As the students proceed with the writing of the exams, they call on the authorities to intervene for peace to reign, so other children in the region will be educated for the betterment of the nation.
It is difficult to separate the GC ordinary and advanced level from the Anglo-Saxon system of education in Cameroon. And remember that the educational system of the Anglo-Saxon was part of worries that brought teachers to the street in 2016 that has metamorphosized into an armed conflict in the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon. The conflict that is also affecting the cultural heritage of these people. They are seeing their values fading away as most persons have been forced out of their villages, homes, towns and cities into other parts of Cameroon as insecurity heightens. A case in point is the people of Comdat in the Buyo division of the northwest region of Cameroon. They are worried that issues they used to do just back home to valorize their being are not being done again as a result of heightening insecurities in most of the villages. Some some of the villages that have been transformed into no-go areas. However, they're trying to gather what they could gather in places where they are finding refuge in Cameroon. Immaculate Fogwe tells us more in the following report.
Worsening violence in Anglophone Cameroon is forcing thousands of civilians to flee to safer areas. One of those localities hardest hit by the crisis is Boyo Division in the northwest region. Due to the crisis, several youths had to move to the littoral, center and west regions for refuge. In the midst of these challenges, the sons and daughters of Camland converged in the city of Yaoundé to discuss on how they can help each other during this challenging period.
If you look around, you will discover that a majority of those who are present are youths. And most of those who have been affected by this problem are youth. So we have actually attained the objective from the first day, gathering our sons and daughters who are displaced by this problem. We want to tell them that we are here together.
Despite being away from home, the sons and daughters say their culture needs to stay alive. Apart from traditional dances showcased during the Come Together, the youth equally organized a football tournament aimed at encouraging young people not to forget their roots.
Motivated by a desire of the company in line with our corporate social responsibility to create a platform through which the youth can come together and interact with each other and their culture through the avenue of sports, which is known to be the universal language.
This Come Together enabled these youths of Camland to understand that though their native land is experiencing challenges, they still need to be united while hoping for the crisis to come to an end.
And now we talk back roads. Yes, it is a concern to most people, not only in the northwest and southwest English-speaking regions of Cameroon. Remember, most of them had complained of vexing marginalization in the infrastructural domains, with road network being extremely bad and other portable, rather basic necessities not being provided by the central government in Yaoundé. But the people of Marwa, that's in the far north region of Cameroon, are also complaining. They say that the city of Marwa is faced with potholes on major stretches linking several neighborhoods of the main town of the most populated region in Cameroon. They are asking the Yaoundé government to see just how they can work in close collaboration with the officials of the Marwa City Council in order to upgrade the stretches of roads linking Marwa, especially that of the Domayo neighborhood, the University neighborhood of Marwa. A lady on the story is Essie Lucy Liengo.
The deplorable road conditions in the city of Marwa for the past days have left the population angry. A great challenge to the road pedestrians who complain is contributing to the failure of their day-to-day activities.
Au quotidien de la femme dans l'extrême nord, nous souffrons vraiment, surtout la période quand la période.
The daily life of a woman in the far north is not easy. We suffer a lot, mostly the period of school. We are unable to access the roads because we have bad roads. Even to take our children to school, sometimes we do that late, all because we don't have roads.
Vraiment, le gouvernement, je vous en prie, regardez ce.
Residents say the numerous accidents recorded on the stretch is as a result of these potholes. They express their dissatisfaction over the early's inability in bringing about development in their area.
Tout le monde se moque de nous, donc vraiment nous sommes désolés. C'est dommage. Nous demandons à l'État d'essayer de remédier à cette situation.
I don't see the work the council is doing because we pay taxes every day. Everybody pays his or her tax, even women who sell foulerie. We are being asked to pay 100 francs every day.
Donc je ne vois pas en quoi la mairie a fait son travail.
En soi disant que non, je vous promets.
We are being given promises that are not implemented. Today, Marwa has become the worst region of Cameroon. We don't have roads nor potable water. There is no activity that is working in Marwa. So we call on the President of the Republic to intervene. During the rainy season, the slippery nature of the roads makes it practically inaccessible, resulting to accidents.
And our method is first to identify where is the problem, which kind of the problem I have, and which kind of the solution I appropriate to resolve this problem. And for me and for my team here in the City Council, the motto is to transform definitely the figure of our town.
The settlers call on the government to see into their plight.
Uneasy calm reigns in Bamena, that's a locality in the west region of Cameroon. Villagers have been frightened and remain frightened since the announced kidnapping or abduction of a villager. They say that the lady Lizette was taken away from her home by yet to be identified individuals to an undisclosed destination. While investigations are on course, the people say it goes to demonstrate just how insecurity has been growing in that part of the west region. Our lady Annabella is the one on that story.
Tuplong, a locality in Bamena in the west region, are in total shock and consternation following the kidnap of one of theirs, Kwayab Lisette, in her 50s, from her residence situated behind Lycée Classique de Bamena.
On m'a informé qu'elle a été kidnappée dans la nuit.
I was informed she was kidnapped at night. I don't know at what time. I was told and I came to meet the crowd here at the roundabout. According to family members, the yet-to-be-identified kidnappers are making calls asking for a ransom of 500,000 francs.
Quand elle décroche, on dit que me voici, je ne connais pas là où je suis.
When she picks the call, she says, "Here I am, but I don't really know where I am precisely." And they are asking for 500,000. That is how I also called the other neighbors to come and listen. This is the house from where Madame Kwayab Lisette lived with her husband before the unfortunate incident. The villagers, in total solidarity and in an effort to save the life of his sister, have called for a voluntary financial contribution so they could raise the sum of 500,000 francs asked by the kidnappers. Insecurity is said to be on the rise in Bamena as thieves and other hoodlums have been terrorizing the villagers, causing them to live in total fear.
While in the city of Douala, security officials have adopted a cliche that birds have learned to fly without perching and hunters too have learned to shoot without missing, referring to their decision to crack down on every activity of the underworld. Sematnji Gabriel in the following report tells us that a suspected bandit is currently receiving medical attention in a health facility in the city of Douala, while two others, their colleagues, were presented to the public. They are said to be a group of individuals who've been terrorizing persons in the city of Douala. We have his report.
There were three teenagers who were shown to the public at the Judicial Police Station in Bonanjo, Douala. With ages ranging from 17 to 22 years old, the young men were accused of forcefully taking things from civilians in the economic capital.
Two individuals presumed perpetrators of assault followed by theft of motorcycle. The expectation made it possible to arrest the other two members of this organized criminal group in the same area as well as their tools. According to the statements, these suspects were specialists in armed robbery in the city of Douala, more precisely in the place called Flower Market, Bonaloka, Elf, and Dokoti.
After several complaints at the Judicial Police Station, an operation led by the head of the anti-gang unit, Henry Arnaud Nsama, at the Flower Market led to the capture of some of the members of the group. But unfortunately, one that used machetes to harm an officer was shot on the leg, and he is now hospitalized.
During the arrest of the last two, one of them tried to harm the life of a police officer by using his machete, but he was fortunately neutralized thanks to the professionalism of the men present on the ground. This individual will be brought before the competent prosecutor's office.
Upon their arrest, the operation team of Henry Arnaud Nsama seized two motorcycles, knee guards, a pistol, a kitchen knife, and a dagger alongside the machetes. The suspects have been transferred to the court where a final decision will be taken on their fate.
Another unusual phenomenon in the city of Douala has been the commercialization of illicit fuel, which is qualified to be on an upsurge in most neighborhoods. From the Douala 1 to the Douala 6 municipality, it is common thing to see bottles of petroleum product displayed along streets of the city. The senior divisional officer for the Vuri division, Benjamin Mbutu, on his part, has warned that in the days ahead, fuel of doubtful quality sold in the city of Douala will be confiscated from the hands of dealers. He was speaking in a press briefing today. Annabella tells us more.
Illicit fuel trade has been on the rise in most towns and street corners of the country. Some car owners, interurban transporters and bikers in Douala affirm they make use of this fuel of doubtful quality, though they know its adverse effects not only on their engines but also on the country's economy. Yes, I consume illicit fuel at times when I'm tied up, because at the station the fuel is expensive. They sell at 650 francs, while at the roadside it's 550 francs. But the best fuel is that of the station. The bikers maintain that the fuel, termed illegal or illicit, sometimes has little or no difference with the petroleum products sold at filling stations.
J'ai fait l'expérience entre la station et ceux de la route. J'ai compris que quand je consomme.
When I try that of the station and that of the road, in the evening when I park my bike, I see that it's better to use fuel of the station. That of the street is not good.
Mais en route là, c'est vraiment
In the city of Douala, this fuel, which has been banned, continues to be sold, sometimes in the eyes of public authorities.
Si le préfet veut arrêter, ce n'est ni au revendeur là qui va aller se plaindre, ni au transporteur, mais c'est au vendeur du carburant.
If the prefect wants to stop it, it's not on resellers or transporters that he has to go and complain. He has to go to those who import fuel into the country. Go there to Carrefour a ship. You will see them with black plastics. They mix the substance with fuel and resell to us.
Ça donne un bidon. Il prend ce qu'il peut diluer avec. Il nous vend. On prend. Ça marche, non?
Reason for which, the senior divisional officer for the Vuri, Benjamin Mbutu, in a press briefing, authorities will proceed to seize all illegal and illicit petroleum products.
To fight against these products, these petrol products, we can be selling in anywhere, because it's not better that you can sell these products in the road or in the houses. This means that in the day we will have to fight again, and I can invite you to help us to this fighting of the selling of these products in the road or anywhere, any place. If you not go to the station service, you cannot buy the petrol product.
Most of these products come from Tiko, Campo and Mwanko. Benjamin Mbutu adds that fuel sold by the roadside sometimes are of good quality, but petroleum products must be sold and bought only at the filling stations, and defaulters would face consequences.
A press briefing of Vuri Senior Divisional Officer Benjamin Mbutu, presented there beautifully by Anna Villa. Time for us to take you without the transition to sport in this edition of the news before talking point to say that teams have begun arriving in Morocco in North Africa ahead of the start of the Africa Women's Nation Cup that starts on a weekend, that is this weekend. The indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon, on their part, have left France after beating a local side in France 9-2. Smart Jikan Gabriel, the following report gives us a presentation of the African Women's Nations Cup.
Morocco will be the headquarters of women football in the days ahead as the African Women's Nations Cup goes into action. competition that has brought together the best 12 women African football teams will be an opportunity for records to be created. The Super Falcons of Nigeria on paper still remain the favourites to pick up the 10th continental title, with the key player to watch, Asisat Oshola, who plays professional football with FC Barcelona Femina. The Super Falcons, though favourites, are heading to the competition with a new head coach who is in no way afraid of the opponents.
Probably the two biggest things that come to mind is thinking ahead of the importance to qualify. You know, the World Cup qualification has always been the goal. As much as we want to win the AFCON championship, the most important thing right now is qualifying. And then the other thing a coach always is concerned with is preparation. You know, are we getting enough preparation? Are we getting things done the right way?
The Bayana Queens of South Africa are another side to be afraid of in the competition. Though they have never won the title, they have all it takes to stop the dominance of the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Days before the tournament, the entire squad of the Bayana team is in good shape.
Tomukoka, a Bayana team doctor. I've got great news for you. All Bayana players are fit, available. We don't have any medical conditions that we are really concerned of. We are looking forward to AFCON.
Cameroon's indomitable Lionesses are not outsiders in the competition. The Lionesses have been close to the trophy, but still don't know how the trophy looks like, as they have never won it. It is a challenge now for the head coach Gabriel Zabotoze to create the surprise with his new squad in place. Other newcomers like Senegal, Burundi, Botswana and Togo are also possible contenders that could spring surprises. The two finalists at the end of the tournament will gain automatic qualification for the FIFA Women's World Cup alongside the team that finishes on the third spot. The FIFA Women's World Cup will be co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand from July 20 to August 20, 2023.
A rendezvous for sports lovers, especially football lovers, again in Morocco. That is the country of the Outlast Lions. Yes, the Kingdom of Morocco in Northern Africa. Time for us to go to talking points. But before that, let's talk on this note that international rights groups have added their voices to that of the African Union and the United Nations to condemn the violence on African migrants between Morocco and Spain on Saturday, calling on an independent investigation. The African Union Commission's chairperson, Chadian diplomat Musa Faki Mahamad, in a tweet indicates that he denounces the degrading treatment of African migrants seeking to cross an international border and also calls for an immediate investigation. He reminds all countries of their obligation under international law to treat all migrants with dignity, prioritizing their safety and human rights. In a tweet, Kenya's ambassador to the United Nations indicates that on the country's initiative, referring to his country Kenya, supported by Gabon and Ghana, it will hold a closed-door meeting on the violence crackdown on African migrants, mainly from sub-Saharan Africa. International rights groups such as Human Rights Watch today says the death of at least 24 African men at the Melilla, Morocco border on June 24 requires an independent, important, impartial investigation capable of determining what occurred and who bears responsibility for such loss of life. It echoes the voice of the African Union and the United Nations Rights Commissioner Michelle Bachelet. On Talking Point tonight, we give a voice and opportunity to a young African leader, a Cameroonian youth leader, who in his analysis thinks that the situation is provoked by lack of opportunities. Chainsaw Clinton, analyzing the unfortunate situation that has seen many dying in the Mediterranean with the recent case of people, at least 24 persons dying between Morocco and Spain on trying to seek for better opportunities out of the African continent, thinks that it is true that they are running because of lack of opportunities, whereas Africa is blessed enough to create enormous opportunities for young people to sit here and make their lives. Take a listen to him. We met him in the streets of the economic capital city, Douala.
I think there is lack of opportunities, lack of funded opportunities, where the youth, they do have the skills, but they don't know where to start and they don't know when and how to finish. Like they always say, the government usually says that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, whereas they are not putting them in practice. But if we are saying that we are the leaders of tomorrow, then the government, like in Cameroon, have to create fully funded opportunity where many young Africans from all over Africans who have to come to Cameroon to build up a better future where they can even have skills in entrepreneurship, in civic education, and to name a few. So we are pleading and calling on the government that we see that Cameroon can be a place where we can create opportunity for the young youth so that they can avoid crossing the borders, or they can also avoid crossing the sea because they die every day because of lack of opportunities. Because as a youth, you need to have a skill. That is the most important thing. Develop yourself, build up yourself as a youth, because when time reach, those skills and those things you are building up will never go in vain. So it is time, and there are other opportunities that maybe the US is giving full funded opportunities, not only the US, other African countries. I attended the NASA Youth Movement, which you attend with the government in Egypt, the World Youth Forum, also part of the conference with the President of Egypt. So it is an experience which brings youth from all over the world to come together to be trained in youth leadership. Not only all, there's also in South Africa. So I see that there are so many African countries that are coming together to build the future of African youth. So I'm saying that Cameroon cannot be an exception. So it's a must that the government needs to see how those opportunities can be implemented in Cameroon, so that we will not be hearing such that someone has crossed the borders, someone are not having the opportunities. So it is time that the government come together to create a fully funded opportunities for young youths in Africa, especially in Cameroon. The responsibility of the young youth in Cameroon, not only in Cameroon, in Africa, is that you don't have to run away from the country. You have to start from your country and start building up. You need to volunteer. There are other NGOs, other organizations out where they give those opportunity. Before you become somebody, you need to start from somewhere to become that person. And when you are patient, you are able to achieve your goals. So volunteerism, attend events when they organize. Don't focus only on payment. Don't focus that I will do this something so that they pay me. No, volunteer. Volunteer is something that will help you. It builds up your CV. It even help you to become somebody tomorrow. What I will have to tell the young youth out there is that you should never give up on your dreams. Take time to volunteer in your communities, build up yourself, learn new skills. There are a lot of opportunities online. Do not use your phone for only texting or for only calling. There are other opportunities. Go online and you will be able to achieve your dream through that. Thank you very much, Mr.
You welcome the young African reacting to the unfortunate incident. Remember that since the unfortunate incident that saw so many Africans dying while crossing across Morocco to Spain, Cameroonians, Africans, and everybody at the international level, there have been reactions, in most cases condemning the inhuman treatment given to the African nationals who are trying to cross the international border. And Musa Faki Mahamad, in his reaction, remember that he is the chair of the African Union Commission, reminded countries of their obligation under international law to treat all migrants with dignity, prioritizing their safety and human rights. However, international rights groups like Human Rights Watch today is adding its voice to the African Union, other countries in Africa like Kenya, Ghana, and Gabon, to that of the United Nations through its Commissioner for Rights, Michelle Bachelet, to call on an independent investigation capable of identifying those directly responsible for the unfortunate incident. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call it quits for tonight's edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe. We thank you so very much for your keen attention. Information continues on Equinoxe. Shortly after this, you're going to be having Équinoxe Soir, and after, you will be having a full version of the news in the French language with Julien Berth beside. I'm going to be coming here tomorrow at 6 p.m., God willing.